Alright guys, welcome! In today's video I'm going to show you 3 different methods using the crochet hook, no sewing, to join your granny squares. So method 1 is completely invisible. I'm using red yarn and you can only really see it if I pull it apart. So flat, invisible. Method 2 is the textured single crochet method. It is visible, of course, and it's right on top of the right sides. And then the third method is the flat slip stitch that is over top the front side of the garment as well. Okay, so all of these are no sew crochet hook only. Let's jump right in. Okay, so method 1 is using the slip stitch to join my squares together. Okay, so put your 2 granny squares right sides facing each other, and then insert your hook into the corner, but only the back or the front loop of the first square and the back loop of the second. Okay, so insert your hook, yarn over, pull through with your yarn, and then chain 1. Okay, so to slip stitch these guys together, I am going to insert on the outside 2 loops of each stitch. Okay, so the front loop of the first one and the back loop of the second one, and then slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this across the entire square. Okay, so front loop of this guy, back loop of this guy, and go ahead and do that across the whole entire square length. And I'm almost at the end here, so keep going until the corner stitches exactly the same way as before. So inserting your hook into the front loop of my stitch, the first square, and the back loop of the next square. Okay, so this guy right here is going to be my last stitch, so same thing, and then cut your yarn, and this is what it's going to look like from the back side, and this is what it's going to look like from the front side. So obviously I've chosen a different color so that you're able to see, but it's a nice and flat join. Looks beautiful. All right, method 2 is once again using the crochet hook, but this time I'm going to make a single crochet seam over top. It's going to give it a little bit of texture. It's not going to lay flat, but it does look kind of cool if that's what you're going for your garment. And I personally love this one. I think that it looks awesome. Okay, so this time I am going to put my 2 squares wrong sides facing each other. Okay, so right sides facing me, and I'm going to once again insert my hook into the corner stitch, this time under both loops. Okay, perfect. So now yarn over. I'm using a different color here just because I wanted you to be able to see really well. Okay, so yarn over and pull through 1. Now I can go on and insert my hook under both, and under both loops of the second square, pull through and do a regular single crochet. Okay, insert your hook under all of the loops, yarn over, single crochet. Whoops. And there you go. And now go ahead and do this across. Okay, so I'm almost at the end here. I'm going to keep going until I finish my corner stitch. So I've got a couple more. Once again, inserting my hook under both. Whoops. Okay, perfect. And that is my corner stitch. So now you can cut your yarn. And this is what that single crochet seam right on top looks like. So it's textured, beautiful way to join. Okay, so that is method 2. All right, guys. And this is method 3. So method 3 is once again using the squares from the right side. And this time I'm going to do a visible slip stitch across the front, right, across the right side, using my crochet hook. And I'm using a different yarn just so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so this time I'm picking them up and wrong sides are facing each other, right sides are facing me. Let's head over to the corner here and pick up my corner stitch. This time I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop of that first one, yarn over, pull through, and then insert your hook into the front loop of the second square. Okay, so here it is, and then yarn over, pull through, both. Okay, let's tighten this a little bit. This time, I'm going to keep my working yarn in between my 2 squares, and I'm going to be using the inside loops only. So the back loop of the first square, the front loop of the second square. Okay, so back loop, then keep your working yarn in between them, then the front loop, yarn over, pull through everything to slip stitch. Okay, once again, back loop, make sure your working yarn goes in between, and then the front, whoops, and then the front loop of that second square. Okay, yarn over, pull through everything. Perfect. Okay, so back loop, tuck that yarn in there, and then the front loop, and then yarn over, pull through everything. Make sure your tension is not too tight on this one. You might want to size up your hook if that's something you're worried about. Okay, and then yarn over, pull through everything. Okay, so go ahead and complete the row like that, and then I'll meet you at the end. Okay, and I'm coming up to the end here. This is what it's looking like so far. And I just have like 1 or 2 more stitches to complete. Okay, so the corner is the same as before. Insert your hook into the back loop of the first square, tucking your yarn in, and then to the front loop. Oops. To the front loop of the second square. Okay, yarn over and pull through, and that is my corner. So cut your yarn and you are good to go. And this is how this method looks like. So I think I really like this one because it does lay flat. It's not a tall textured seam like the single crochet, and it joins really nicely. Okay, there you go.